The governors in this country have cornered President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were supposed to meet with governors and the MCs in this country in Naivasha. But Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta snubbed that meeting. I'm yet to understand why they snubbed the meeting. But in my considered opinion, they couldn't attend that meeting because of two reasons. Number one, they feared the demands by the governors they were not going to fulfill. And number two, probably they wanted to avoid unnecessary backlash in case they were going to disagree with the governors. Take, for example, if they went there yesterday and then they disagreed. And then you wake up the next day and the headlines in the dailies screaming, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga disagreed with the governors over the Building Bridges Initiative process. That would be serious for them. And like today, the headline was like, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga cornered, which is better. And also there was the other one where they were saying like, Uhuru and Raila snub governors. It's better than having a headline screaming the governors disagreed with the president and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. So the governors have realized their strength. Because remember, for the Building Bridges Initiative process to run smoothly and to succeed, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga need the support of the governors. Because the governors, number one, they have the support, the grassroots support across the entire country. We are talking of 47 governors. Each 47 governors have directors. Each 47 governors have sub-county administrators. Each 47 governors have ward administrators. And most governors have even village administrators. So governors have that grassroots network and support. Number two, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga would want the signatures to be collected within the shortest time possible. The only people with the structures are the governors. If the governors had disagreed with them, it would have been bad for them. So they'll need the governors to collect those 1 million signatures. And then governors also brings to their side what is called perceptional value. Take, for example, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta went to Naivasha and failed to hammer an agreement with the governors. And then the next day, the headline is, you wake up and it's written in the Daily Nation, in the Standard, in the People's Daily, in the Star, that governors now support William Samoei Ruto to oppose the Building Bridges Initiative process. It would be huge for them. And now we have 47 governors perceptionally supporting the Building Bridges Initiative process. That's huge politically for them. And lastly, the governors have the resources. They can help these guys collect signatures. Remember, in all counties, they have money specifically for civic education. So BBI can organize a meeting in Kakamega and the governor contribute 20 million and pass it as money for public participation. Nobody is going to question that because Building Bridges Initiative is a government project. So they have the resources. So because of those reasons, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga need the governors for the Building Bridges Initiative process to pass. Then the governors need them because most of these governors are actually second-term governors. And because of those, the governors then decided to put demands for these two gentlemen. I'm not sure whether these demands by the governors are going to sail through. Let us look at some of the demands which the governors are actually using to blackmail President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Number one, the governors are demanding for a pension scheme. Is it possible? They are saying that we are going to retire, for those who are going to retire. If we retire, we require pension. Our deputies require pension. Our MCs require pension. And our staffs require pension. If you look at it critically, personally, I'm supporting them on that. And one man captured this so well. Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Kivutha Kibwana once explained that he doesn't have a pension scheme. Why? He served as a professor for 20 years. So he didn't qualify for a pension scheme. Because as a professor, he needed to have taught at the university for 25 years. And because of that, he didn't qualify. Then he was elected a member of parliament. And as a member of parliament, he served, I think, 1 term. With a break, then another term. Again, then, he didn't qualify. I think he served only for 1 term. Because if you serve for 2 terms, then you qualify. So as a member of parliament, he was even a minister. He didn't qualify. Then he's now serving as a governor, 2nd term governor, without a pension. So Professor Kivutha Kibwana is saying that he served this nation for several years without a pension. So it makes sense because, again, there is no point for us having members of parliament giving themselves pension and the local MCA serving for 3 terms being voted out will not get any pension. It doesn't make sense. But do we have the money to fund such? And do you think Kenyans will agree to this kind of proposal? Anybody would easily hammer the last nail on BBI coffin by telling Kenyans that the main reason why this BBI is there is because they want to give governors, MCAs, and their staffs money. So it's a very tricky affair. That's number 1. Number 2, the governors are also recommending that they want to be involved in security matters both at the national level and at the county level. I don't think that's going to be possible. Take, for example, today, you give your governor, you can mention his name there, the security apparatus in this country to run. So you say the governor can recommend transfer of a chief here, transfer of a police here, he can deploy security here, he can issue order to police to go and arrest so and so. Do you think we'll have order in this country? Based on what we've witnessed with most of these governors. I don't think anybody would allow that. Maybe at the county level, they might be involved. Like I'm told nowadays, some of them are part of security committees. I'm not so sure. But involving the governors in national and county security levels, that one will be complete chaos. Give your governor access to security. Today, they don't have security. They don't control security apparatus. But just give it to them. You will see fire. That will not happen. Number 3, they want the proposal on collective criminal responsibility in management of resources at the county level to be removed. Today, if a governor is found to be corrupt, if his officers are found to be corrupt, the guy who takes responsibility is the governor. And that's why most governors are facing corruption allegations. Governors want to bypass this. They want individual responsibility. So that in the next year, after the elections, we have new governors. They don't take responsibility. So you won't find a governor directly being involved in corruption. So yeye anakuja anaita ofisa anamwambia wewe, we want this tender done. Okay, yangu ni. Okay, wewe paperwork mfuate vizuri. So there will be no trail on him. And because there will be no trail on them, they want that kind of arrangement. That kind of arrangement should not be allowed by Kenyans. Governors must be ready to take responsibilities of their staffs, especially senior staffs. So that when a governor signs for 5 million Kenya shillings tender, he must ensure that the money is used for that purpose. So that's another proposal they're bringing to the table. Now, number 4, they want 100% of monies held by parastatals performing devolved functions to be transferred to them. So if you have any parastatal in this country, which is performing some of the devolved functions, but controlled by the national government, they want those functions, those money, to be devolved. To some extent, I agree with them. That's how devolution is supposed to work. But of course, as a national government, you also need some of these parastatals to run independently, because some parastatals were actually removed from national government to run independently. So the situation is they'll just be retained there, so that they are not being managed by the county and the national government. Now they want the money, 100% of those money. I don't know any such kind of parastatals, but what I know, there are some functions which are devolved, like agriculture. And you know, agriculture is one of the functions. I mean, agriculture is one of the departments where we have so many parastatals. Health is another one. So if there any parastatal, like now, say Kemri, you devolve. So they want all those money going to Kemri to go there. I don't think that can work. Then they have, number 5, they're also proposing that we have a Senate to have veto powers. So basically we have a Senate which is higher house. I agree with that fully. Because we've seen cases where Parliament has always been used to fight devolution. So they pass Senate. Today, as we speak, we have 13 bills which were declared null and void by the courts because the Senate were not involved. So in my view, the only way to make Senate superior to National Assembly, because there's no way you can have 300 members of Parliament and 47 senators, and you want to tell me that the 300 members of Parliament are more powerful. It can't work like that. So Senate should be the higher house. So on that, I agree with them. They are also recommending very funny thing. Deputy ministers. I don't understand what they mean by deputy ministers. But they want these deputy ministers to be picked from Parliament and from Senate. And these deputy ministers are going to be more powerful, have more powers than Parliament. So basically, I'm looking at a situation where most governors are looking at the prospect of joining Parliament and joining Senate. And once they join Parliament and they join Senate, then they can be then appointed deputy ministers, so that they become more powerful than members of Parliament. That's interest. I think that's one of the things they're dangling. So if you don't give us this, we are going to oppose this report. If you give us this, we are going to support this report. I think that's one thing they're trying to do. And lastly, they also want the IBC to be devolved to 47 counties. So that, like today, IBC is centralized. It's an independent body. IBC are managing their affairs on their own. So they want it devolved to counties. I don't know how this can work, but I also don't think it should work that way. I think IBC should actually remain independent. So we just have commissioners, we have their staffs reporting directly to the commission in Nairobi. But they must be responsible, they must be transparent and accountable. I don't know what you think, but I think the governors are actually holding President Uhuru Kenyatta and Uhuru Kenyatta. But I think the governors are holding President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga by the balls. Mtoe hii, mtupe hii, ndio niwaachilie hii. Let me hear your thoughts on this. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.